What's up, guys? What is going on? It is your boy RockStarr back with another piece of content for you. In today's video, we're going to be doing another live trading session. That's right. So you guys are going to actually be seeing me trade live, and this is actually a session that I did, I believe, a few days ago, last Thursday to be exact, where I kind of just got on randomly. I had just finished a training, and I didn't even realize that my screen recording was still going, which is perfect for this because we were able to come on and we did a couple $100 in about 25 minutes. The reason why I really like posting these live trading sessions is because it's one thing to learn the strategy and to see how it is that I'm doing certain things in the markets, but on top of the how, it's also very important to see why it is that I'm getting in at certain points, why it is that I'm waiting instead of just jumping in right away, so on and so forth. So with these live sessions, you guys are going to be able to see that. And in this video, I'm going to be doing a commentary over the video because, like I said, this was completely unplanned. So I didn't even know I was going to be posting this at all, but it was a really good session. So as the video was flowing through, hopefully you guys are taking notes. Hopefully you guys are actually watching and paying attention. And I'm going to be talking over it and maybe, explaining a little bit as to what it is that I'm doing at that moment, why it is that I'm getting into certain trades, and what it is that I'm looking for in the market. So sit back, relax, take your notes, because we're here to make some money. All right, let's get it. Feel just like a rock star. All right. So jumping into it, guys. As you guys know, this is pretty much how I always trade. I have my currency pairs on the side. Now I do have a few. I have about 5 currency pairs that I look at the most. They're typically on top. This is literally just a free-for-all session that I'm doing right here. I don't usually do this. I do have my specific time of day that I trade and the specific setups and everything that I look for, but this was looking way too juicy. Now, when I do trade, I like to look for a few things. So obviously, yes, I do have indicators on my screen, but you guys also see I plotted a little support line right there as well before that even kicked up, and now you obviously can see that it's moving. It's starting to move up on Euro AUD. What I like to look for is a combination of things. So number one, I like to have my indicator-based confirmations as well as my structural support resistance-based confirmations as well. And I put 2 and 2 together when I'm trading binaries. As I say on all of my binary options videos, I like to have multiple confirmations. Being that we are hyper scalping in the markets, we don't really have much of a market to kind of look at. A lot of times when you see traders trade, they're doing on the 1 hour, the 4 hour, the daily. They have a lot where they can scroll out and see what the market has done previously. When we're trading on the 5-minute or the 3-minute charts, there's not really much you can look at to see exactly where the market's going to be going. So I just like to have a solid set of confirmations that I'm looking at. Now, you guys are going to see I have multiple monitors set up. I usually have about 2 to 3 when I trade, but you're going to see me just drag the screen in and out. Instead of switching the screen recording from monitor to monitor, I'm just going to drag them over to the screen that I actually am recording on. And you guys are going to see that. So this is Euro AUD. That was that first setup we were looking at where I plotted that support. And obviously I got into that trade right there at that mark. I'm not sure. I think we actually got into this a little bit early. I did not follow my typical rules, I'll be honest. Waiting for that stochastic crossover, if you guys know what I'm talking about. Actually, if you watch my last binary options video, I think I do talk about the stochastic crossover on that. So go check that out, and you'll get what I'm saying. But I think I got into this a little bit early, so we're gonna see how this pans out. What I typically do is I search. Well, when I have pop-up sessions like this, and I'm not trading my typical currency pairs, you'll see me just click through each pair one by one, and I do it pretty quick. And I'm looking for the setup. So as you see here, I stopped right here. We got a pretty solid setup. All 3 of my indicators on the bottom are pushing towards the downside, as well as without even me putting a line there, you see a nice little resistance within the last 2 levels where the market came up and dropped at that same exact point that it's at right now. So I think I'm going to put that line there right now so you guys can see. Let's see if I do it. All right, boom. So I did do it. So perfect. So that would typically be my entry point. Now, why this is a little bit tricky with this setup right here is because I am expecting it to come up towards that area, and I'm looking back real quick to see if there's any other parts, and you can see it was previously a level of support, now it's a level of resistance. So that looks like a pretty solid area for me. Why this could be tricky though is because, as you guys seen, right above this area of resistance is the 200 moving average. Now for those of you who trade on the 200 moving average, the 200 typically acts as I use it a lot of the times as a support or resistance. So it tends to it will do one or two things. It'll either hit it and break through it, right? So have a nice little breakout, or it'll hit it and just bounce off of it. Most of the times it comes to the 200 moving average and bounces off, but the 200 moving average also uses or acts kind of like a magnet to the market as well. So that's why that setup right there is a little bit tricky. As you can see, I kind of just plotted it and left. And I'll probably come back to look at it as well. But it's a tricky setup because I'm not sure if it's going to hit that resistance that I plotted there and bounce down, or if the 200 is going to pull it up a little bit more and then hit the 200 and then move down too. Now, typically when I trade, I like to be very careful or very cautious of the entries that I get into. But I was feeling froggy. I was feeling froggy this Thursday night. Honestly, I didn't trade much last week. And I don't really need to trade a lot either. I know it's a big misconception in the markets that, traders spend a bunch of time, a bunch of hours on the charts just trading and staring at the computer all day, every day. And that is absolutely not the case for me. Now, don't get me wrong. There are some times where I'll spend an hour, hour and a half on the charts. But for the most part, I literally get on in about 30, maybe 45 minutes. Sometimes like this session right here, even less. But about 30, 45 minutes, I'm in and out with a bag. You know what I'm saying? So look, we're looking back at this setup right here. You see I put my little cursor there to show you that it looks like it's kind of pushing up past that resistance that I had plotted, right? So a new candle just opened. Let's see. So then I put the line there so you can see it. All right. Yeah, so that's actually a previous level of support as well, where that 200 moving average is at. So I'm just going to continue to watch that to make sure that we're good. I haven't gotten in yet. I still do have that other trade open. And by now, honestly, I should have rolled over by now because it should be either done or close to done. But we're going to see. Obviously, I'll drag the screen back to the middle. We're going to track all the trades here to make sure, obviously, we're counting them up. And we're actually making money. Now, for compliance purposes with the company that I do work for, I am going to have to blur out the profits so that obviously, I don't get in trouble for that. We're not allowed to pretty much, even though this is for educational purposes, more than anything, there are people that strictly just post their profits or their winnings with the intent to try and, be an online guru and, get people to buy their course, so on and so forth. That is illegal. All right, so I'm not supposed to entice you with profits or what I'm making, because obviously this is trading. Trading involves risk. Past performance does not guarantee future return, and I spent a lot of time learning this. So, you're not going to come in and make as much money as me right away. So let's just make that very clear. So when I do hit these trades, you're going to see me blur out the profits. That is the reason why legally I'm not allowed to do it, and I don't want to get in trouble by my company or by the law. All right, so we brought the screen back, switched it over. As you can see, I am heavily not in profit on this trade right now. And I more than likely did roll it over already. I'm not sure, but I'm about to hit that rollover button again because I do believe it's still going to come up. It's just a matter of when. All right, so I hit rollover. I bought some more time, paid out an extra 30% of my payout to buy some more time for that trade. As you can see, that extended my expiration time. So for those of you who ask or who wonder what rollovers are, it's pretty much paying for extra time on your trades. Not every broker has this feature, but the broker that I do use has the feature. So if you guys are interested in that broker, I'll put a link down in the description, and you can go ahead and check it out. Now, I have the charts on the other screen. I think I'm looking back and forth to see if maybe I can get in for another entry point right here. Like I said, this was last Thursday, so I really don't remember this session at all, but I'm kind of just going off the fly here of what I do remember, and as I'm watching myself trade, I just know what's in my mind. You know what I'm saying? So if you guys see me place another trade, that is why. Now, also, before we move on, if you guys do enjoy these sessions where I kind of just commentate over some live trading that I did and kind of explain why it is that I'm doing what I'm doing, If you find that helpful, and it helps you trade, or helps you kind of make that decision of what trades to get into and what not to get into, or what to look for, definitely let me know in the comment section, and I'll do some more of these. Obviously, drop a like, share it out, so on and so forth. But let me know in the comment section, most importantly, so that I know that you guys are actually enjoying these, and I'll do some more of them. All right, so right now I'm looking at this. This is the last currency pair we were talking about with the 200 moving average. As I predicted, it actually did come up. So that 200 moving average, as always, it acted as a magnet, and it popped the market all the way back up to the 200. I refreshed the page real quick, just to see if we can get a higher payout, or if the payouts changed on the currency. All right, but let's go ahead. I'm pretty sure I'm about to place this trade. There we go. Yes, sir. We're gonna fix that. 3 minutes. So it's gonna be a 3-minute put, which is a 3-minute sell. I'm gonna check my markups one more time. We're gonna wait for the pullback to come closer towards that 200, right? There you go. So that's the area that I'm looking for. Boom. So I hit the sell button. So I waited for that pullback. Always very important. It pays to wait. You want to be very patient when it comes to these. Obviously, I could have gotten in at a way better price, because I was pushing up past the 200 a little bit. But all of my confirmations, indicator base, are looking good for the drop. The 200, I believe, being that the indicators look good for the drop, obviously I have that resistance line right there at the 200 as well for the drop, and the fact that the 200 moving average is there as well. That's pretty much all the confirmation I need. I know that thing's about to fall. It's just a matter of when. So I go ahead, I'm watching it, because I think I might need a little bit more time. It's pushing up still for whatever reason. It's still going up, and this happens a lot, right? But this is where discipline comes into play. Now, when it comes to that rollover feature, I don't roll over more than 3 times. All right, so there's a lot of people that just go freaking crazy with the rollovers, and you just click it, right? I do not do more than 3 rollovers. It's very risky, and obviously, if you lose, you're gonna lose everything that you put up and more. So I don't recommend that. You got to be very disciplined when it comes to this. I'm looking at all 3 of my trades, and yes, I did place another one on Euro AUD. I got in at a better entry, and I didn't double up. I actually just placed a whole new position, because I do think it's ready to start pushing up. So let's see. All right, so there you go. We're starting to get that nice cross up on the stochastic. So that stochastic crossover, as well as all of the other indicators, are beginning to push up. I think I might hit that rollover button. We might need a little bit more time on this trade. Let's see. Damn. Yeah, I did it. So boom. Look at that. As soon as I hit rollover, it popped up too, right? So that trade is currently in profits, as you guys can see down on the bottom. And our euro is pushing way past that 200 moving average that we thought it was going to drop down at. But with all of my indicators, I still do believe it's going to push down. So right here, I'm just checking that. I'm checking that resistance right there, because I'm like, yo, what the hell is going on? Like, why is it still pushing up? Why is it still pushing up? It went way past the 200. It went way past our resistance. And all of our indicators are obviously pushing down. So this is Euro USD. So I'm not going to lie. I am looking at this right now, and I'm getting a little bit nervous, because, not really nervous, but I'm starting to question if this thing is really about to come down. Boom. So right away, I hit that double up button. So the reason why I doubled up just now is because I do think that it's about to start popping down. I don't think it's going to come all the way back down to that initial entry point. So the purpose of the double up is to cancel out one of the losses. All right. That's typically why I use double up. When I do think it's about to pop down, we're coming close to that expiration time. And I feel like, with the time that we have left, I can clear that trade, maybe a top position. But the bottom position is definitely going to lose. So I doubled up real quick to obviously win that top position, but I'm going to leave that bottom position as a loss. I'm not going to double up on that one. There's always the potential that it might come back down, but I'm just not ready to risk that. So I take the L on this, and I re-enter at that top position to, once again, like I said, to cancel out. So you'll have 1 win and 1 loss. So that win that I'm about to clear, okay, is going to cancel out that initial loss. Hopefully that makes sense. Now go back to this pair right here. Obviously we have 2 positions open here. One of them is currently in profit. One of them is not. But the one that's in profit is about to clear. So far we are 1-1. So far we are 0-1, right? So we got 0 wins. We just took an L on that first position. All right. And obviously that's one trade. So this one's about to clear as well, which is going to make us 1 for 2. So we'll have 1 win out of 2 trades. Okay, so let's go ahead and wait for this to clear. And boom, there you go. It's a nice little clear. So we officially have 1 win, 1 loss. Okay, and we got 2 positions open left. So the idea is that obviously we want to win these last 2 positions. And obviously we'll be in the money with that. We'll be in profit. Now remember, one of these positions that I have open is open to not only cancel out that loss, right? Because it was a double up on the same exact position size, but I also rolled over that position as well, which added more money to that trade. So it's going to cancel out that loss, but then also come in to more profits as well. So if we do actually win these last 2 trades, that loss would kind of be non-existent, if that makes sense, right? It's like it didn't even happen because we still walk away with more money than we lost on that trade. So I'm still watching Euro AUD. That white line is pretty much where we went ahead and we entered that trade. So I'm waiting for it to pop back up at that area. That's why I keep checking there. Euro USD is currently in profit, as you guys can see down on the bottom. So we're good to go with that. Yeah, we're in deep profits with that. We are in deep profits with that. Look at that. There we go. So pretty fire how you guys are actually seeing, how that rollover, that double up partnered up with the rollover is actually coming into play right now, because not only obviously we're in heavy profits, we got in at a good spot on that double up. That should have been my initial entry point, but like I said, I really did on both of these trades. Honestly, I got in prematurely, but it's all good because I know what to look for. I know what to look for in the market. I know what to look for in terms of if I'm going to buy more time on the trade or if I'm just going to take the loss on it. And as you guys can see, taking the loss on that first trade and doubling up and then adding more to the position is working out really good right now. All right, so there are good and bad times to do it. Now, Euro AUD, as you guys can see, pushed all the way back up to that initial entry point. So all I needed was a few rollovers. All right, so it looks like we might be clearing this one, right? So we have both positions in profit right now. Euro USD is in profit. Euro AUD is treading in and out of profits. It's looking really close, but I do feel I got that. Listen, you want to trust the trade, man. Trust the trade. Trust your analysis. Don't second guess it, and just rock out with it. And obviously, as long as you're not over leveraging, as long as you're not hitting that rollover button 1,000 times, you should always be good to go. All right, so look, we're back up at initial entry. We just hit that overbought. So obviously, when it first enters that overbought phase on the indicators, that means momentum is pushing up. So it's looking good. Even though it's overbought, it usually doesn't hit overbought and comes right down right away. You have a little more momentum still pushing up. So we are looking good on that trade. On top of that, new candle just opened and it opened bullish. Okay. So let's see if we can clear this. It'll probably be a close clear, honestly. But hey, all clears are good clears, right? And both positions are winning right now. So this is what it actually looks like to trade, guys. Like, this is how you actually trade. This isn't those BS, people here on YouTube that give you an indicator and just say, hey, whenever this crosses up, you hit buy. Whenever this crosses down, you hit sell. Like, that is literally gambling. That is literally, basing a whole trade, no analysis whatsoever, right? It's just basing your entire trade, your entire account on the probability of a lagging indicator, right? And obviously I use indicators, so there's nothing wrong with them. But like I said in my last video, you guys want to make sure you have your set confirmations and know exactly what it is that you're looking for in the markets. If you don't know what you're looking for and you're just trying to get rich, right? You're just trying to get rich quick. I can almost guarantee you it will never work that way. It'll never work that way. As you guys can see, we're about to clear this right now. Bada bing, bada boom. All right, so we officially have won that trade. We cleared that. So far, we have 1 loss on the charts. We only have 1 loss. I believe 2 clears, if I'm not mistaken. And what's super cool about that is the fact that that initial clear that we just got right there, that clear completely eliminated that first loss. So it canceled it out because, number one, like I said, it was the same exact position size. So obviously, if you win one and you lose one on the same exact position size, there's no risk there. You know what I'm saying? But I rolled over as well, which added an extra 30% to my initial payout. So being that I cleared that, I cleared an extra, 20 to 30%, obviously depending on the payout differences, so on and so forth. All right. So now we're coming into this last clear right here. This one was closed, and you can see I'm getting a little bit nervous. What I'm doing there is I'm putting $1 positions, right? I'm trying to just fake out the broker. Honestly, not a lot of people know about this, and honestly, you don't really know if this actually works or not. But as you guys can see, I get excited, and it always seems to work for me. Whenever I start placing a bunch of trades in the opposite direction of where I actually want the market to go, they don't know whether or not to spike me out. And you know what I'm talking about. If you trade on these brokers, especially with binary options, a lot of the times the last few seconds of the trade, you get spiked out like crazy, right? Like you'll be in crazy profits and then it'll just spike in the opposite direction. So what I do is I place a bunch of $1 positions or $10 positions in the opposite way so that they don't know where to spike me. And as you guys can see, as soon as I started placing those $1 positions, the markets went up, right? I started placing $1 puts and the market started to go up. So look, there you go. Last clear of the night. We went 3 out of 4, technically 3 out of 3 with those wins. I'm not sure exactly how much we made on this session, but I do know that was definitely more than 3, maybe $400 in about 25, if I'm not mistaken, about 25 minutes, which is definitely not bad. So it was a good day. My daily goal is honestly to make at least 500 a day. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this session, man. Hopefully you learned a thing or two. Hopefully you stayed all the way to the end so you can learn about those $1 spike outs, right? Those fake outs that we like to do. And as always, if you guys enjoyed this, make sure you hit that thumbs up button. Make sure you obviously hit that subscribe button if you're not already subscribed and made it all the way to the end. And more importantly, check out some of my other binary options videos to kind of put it more into perspective of what it is that you guys just saw in this video right here. So with that being said, guys, as always, this is your boy RockStarr. At any point in time, feel free to hit me up on Instagram. If you guys are looking for mentorship or you want to work with me on a more personal basis, one-on-one, head to teachmetotrade.info. But until next time, guys, the next upload, I will see y'all next week. This is your boy RockStarr. I'm out. Peace.
Feel just like a rock star.